Hey guys, how you doing? I am feeling pretty excited right now. I'm pretty pumped. Uh, I just am about to start a breakthrough session with a new client, so that has me really, I get really excited. Getting better, getting ready. I can't even talk. That's how excited I am. I get so excited at the potential of starting something new. A new project, a new journey. And when I get to help someone reach that next level of who they want to be, who they deserve to be, things they want to do, things they want to have, just to be able to get them there and see them elevate. That is so exciting because I'll share it. That's what I went through. That's what I found that next level. So in a little bit, I get to, I'm going to settle down. I'm going to do some work just to prep myself. And it'll be a really fun day. It's a full day. For those of you who do breakthrough sessions, it's a full day. It's a fun day and it's a full day. Today, though, I want to talk about something different: deletions, distortions, and generalizations. It's what we do. The other day, I was on a walk with Sarah. I take Kayla out every day, and at least once, maybe twice a day in the morning and evening. In the evening, Sarah will most often join me. It's cool. I get a good time with the dog. Me and Sarah have some pretty cool conversations on that walk. It's pretty much the same path we take. Sometimes we'll go a little bit different, but for most of the time, it's the same path. Lack of originality or just familiarity or just easy. Either way, same path. And on the weekend, I remember commenting. We walked by this one house that we pass every day, and there was an owl. They had I guess, an ornament, like a lawn decoration, an owl popping over the backyard fence on a block, if you will. And I said, "Oh, that's new. Interesting." And Sarah looked at me and said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "The owl. They must just put that up. It was a nice spring day. I figured they probably were doing some yard work and bought some stuff for the yard." And she looks at me and said, "Dad, that's been there for a long time." I'm like, "No, it hasn't." She's like, "No, it's been there for at least 2 years." And I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to trust her. If she's seen that, Sarah wouldn't really do that to mess with me. And I thought, wow, I just deleted an owl of all things. Now, is that a big deal? Probably not. If I guess my life is seeing birds, I missed the plastic owl. But not a big deal. If for all intents and purposes, it was just something I caught for 2 years, maybe or more. Just never saw the owl. I don't think I missed out in life, and yet I missed an owl. What if, though, in a different circumstance, it wasn't a walk, it wasn't an owl, it was a conversation? And what if you ignore things that somebody's saying to you, maybe a friend or family member, and you just didn't pay attention? That's what this is about. That how many times do you go through your day and you think you understand everything, but let's be clear, we delete things. At any one moment, we have so many things around us, whether it's auditory, whether it's visual, tactile, anything, the feelings we get, all the lights in this room, and all the ambient, all the periphery things going on, and even the sound of my voice. Maybe I'm talking to somebody later, their voice, or maybe the background noise. A lot of that plays a role in what I have to experience. And if I were to consciously try to process all of them, let's be clear, that's a lot. It's just too much to handle. Our unconscious mind then has to filter out so that we're protected, keeps us safe, and also so it's more manageable. The amount that it changes or distorts, deletes, or generalizes, that you gotta have to hope you picked up the important bits, the important pieces of information. If you didn't, you're left with, regardless, what you have. Why is this important again? Well, when you have a relationship, if you, how many times have you had a conversation with maybe your partner, and they completely misunderstood what you were doing or even missed it altogether? And meanwhile, what they thought you were kind of pissed off, what you were doing was just doing work. Generalizing and deletions. I know I was doing a consult at this office again. And as I was explaining what the diagnosis was, what their son was going through, they looked at me, and the dad just had a nice smile and thanked me. And he said, my consults are easily an hour. Sometimes they run even longer, and part of it is I want to make sure I take enough time to explain what we're dealing with here, what their child is working through, and what our plan is. Well, the dad just gave me a look of gratitude. First, he thanked me for making it more understandable. so he could appreciate really the struggles that his son was experiencing. And then he said, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Doctors don't take the time to explain things. And I looked at him, well, they do. And he's like, no, they really don't. Doctors don't take the time to explain. Well, first, that's a huge generalization. In other words, in his wording, in his world, every doctor doesn't take the time. And then deletions, I looked at him and said, I am a doctor. He's like, no, no, I know you are. Well, don't delete me. I am a doctor who is taking the time to explain things. He said, yeah, but you're the only one. I said, well, that's not true. I have many colleagues that I know do the same thing or similar. And I said to him, if one doctor, myself, can take the time, then let's presuppose in this world there's at least another. And by definition, if there's two, come on. I wasn't trying to, make him feel bad or anything, but for me, it's me being conscious of the words that I hear and the words I use and accept. Partly because I know our words influence who we are and how we think, our world. Distortions. The other day, there was a patient who said to me, I want to make sure everything's okay. There was a time in a session I was watching, and one of your therapists looked just really agitated or annoyed with my daughter. And I said, well, that doesn't really sound like her, but I don't know. I wasn't there. I'll look into it and thank you for bringing that to my attention. And when I talked to her, the therapist, she said, no, not at all. I wasn't angry. I was actually really passionate, really optimistic, trying to get it to the next level. I was just passionate in that moment. Now, what's interesting is, as she was explaining her passion, the physiological shifts she had on her face, in my head, I'm like, oh, I can see how that looks like it could be agitated. And yet, I also know her, that's also passionate for her. How many times do you distort something and just know, based on what that person did with their body or their face, I know automatically that means they're angry at me or annoyed or whatever. No, maybe, maybe not. And a lot of times you might want to kind of confirm that. That is a distortion. Using our assumptions based on these filters, based on our deletions, generalizations, and distortions, is it the highest level of communication? I would challenge you today. Go through your day and pay attention to how many times before you respond are you maybe deleting, generalizing, or distorting the event or whatever is happening around you. And meanwhile, it may not be that at all. And if you do take that moment, if you do have that pause and able to reflect, or at least the ability to confirm, hey, I'm not sure what just happened here. I want to make sure what I just said, what you got out of it, because I don't know if you did. I think you might have misinterpreted something. You might actually find that they did understand it differently, not your intention. And all of a sudden, you'll start to realize the shift in your own world with your relationships, that communication can be a lot more different and get you the really what you want out of the conversation and not what ends up sometimes happening. I don't know. This is important, and I'm going to be quite clear and transparent. This is building up because next week I want to attach something to this one. I want to tag on this piggyback because this is a really cool one for me. You guys know I love communication. That I really just find communication so important. That oftentimes most things can be settled with just more specific or intentional wording that we use and really what we mean. Again, I hope this helped. This is building. So let me know. Let me know if you do see any changes or even reflecting back how many times you may have distorted something. I'd love to hear. Again, any shares you guys have, any experiences, and hopefully this did help. Let me know. Otherwise, have a good week. And next week, like I said, I'm gonna go a little bit more on this one. Have a nice day, guys. See you later. Bye.